If you are an Aries, or if you have significant Aries placements in your chart sun, rising, moon off, we need to have a serious sit down about March 2026.
We really do.
Because looking at the data, looking at the transits, this isn't just a standard monthly forecast. It feels like two completely different psychological realities just jammed into a single 31-day container.
It really is a tale of two cities, or maybe a tale of two speeds.
Yeah.
You have the first 3 weeks, which are incredibly slow, introspective, and frankly, a bit murky. And then boom, right around the equinox, the dam just breaks and the energy explodes.
It feels a bit like a movie where the first hour is a slow burn atmospheric mystery, and the last 30 minutes is a high-octane action thriller.
Right.
And the reason we are doing this deep dive specifically for you, for Aries, right now, is because we know how that archetype operates.
Yeah.
The temptation is going to be to try and force that action thriller to start on March 1st.
Which would be a strategic failure.
A massive one. It's like trying to sprint through waist-deep water.
Yeah.
You're just going to get tired.
Precisely. Our mission with this deep dive is to help you stop fighting the timing of the cosmos.
Right.
If you try to push the river in early March, you're going to burn out before the actual race even begins. But if you work with the energy, using that slow, messy first half for what it's actually for, you'll be perfectly positioned when the green light finally flips on.
We have a dense stack of sources to get through today.
Yeah.
We're dealing with a Mercury retrograde in Pisces, which is a very specific flavor of chaos.
A very specific.
We have a loud entry from Venus into your sign. And we have a critical eclipse in Virgo that sounds like a major reality check for your daily life.
It's a loaded month, but the headline here is From Retrospection to Renewal. You cannot have the renewal without doing the retrospection first.
So let's unpack that atmospheric pressure over the first few weeks. Because from March 1st all the way to March 20th, the dominant influence is Mercury retrograde. But this isn't the standard my computer broke retrograde. It's in Pisces.
And that distinction is crucial. When Mercury is retrograde in, say, an air sign or an earth sign, the disruptions are usually logistical. A train is late. A contract has a typo.
Right. Tangible stuff.
But Pisces is a water sign. It rules the subconscious, dreams, the blurry line between reality and fantasy. So when Mercury goes retrograde here, the fog isn't just about your schedule, it's mental.
It's psychological.
It is. The sources describe it as being in a house of mirrors. Logic gets blurred. For an Aries who usually values directness, clarity, and speed like, get to the point, let's go, this environment is incredibly disorienting.
It's not just that things are slow, it's that they are unclear.
Exactly. I liked the analogy in the notes that described it as trying to read a map through a frosted glass window.
Yes. You can see shapes, but if you try to make a precision turn based on that view, you're going to crash.
You are. And the sensation for you might be that communication just feels slippery. You might think you have a confirmation for a meeting, but the other person thought it was just a tentative idea.
Or you send an email that you think is direct and professional, and the recipient reads it as passive-aggressive because the emotional tone is it's distorted by that Pisces filter.
And the other side of the Pisces coin is the past. Pisces is the end of the zodiac wheel, the accumulation of everything that came before.
So this isn't just about current emails. This is about old ghosts.
Unfinished business is practically guaranteed to resurface. Old conversations you thought were closed, old projects you archived, they just float back up.
And the natural Aries reaction to this, because Aries is the sign of the new, is to shove it back down and charge forward.
I don't have time for this. I'm building the future.
Exactly.
Right. But the sky is essentially demanding an audit. This isn't bad luck. It's an editing phase. If things feel slow or if an old issue pops up, it's because you missed something. The plan isn't actually ready yet.
So we need to reframe the frustration. It's not a stop sign. It's a check engine light.
That's it.
And you don't keep driving at 100 miles per hour when the check engine light is on unless you want to destroy the car.
That is the mindset shift. The mantra for the first 3 weeks has to be prep first, launch second.
Let's get tactical then. If we are accepting that we are in the check engine phase, what are the power moves? The sources were pretty specific.
The first rule is verify everything. Do not rely on verbal agreements. If you have a conversation, follow it up with an email that says, just to confirm, here is what we agreed on.
Keep the receipts.
You have to keep the receipts because memory is fallible under this transit.
Highly fallible.
And budget extra time for everything.
Yeah.
If you think a reply will take an hour, give it a day. If you think a project can be wrapped up on Friday, tell the client Monday. You need buffer zones.
Okay, so while we're navigating this swamp of a retrograde, There is another major event happening immediately, March 2nd and 3rd. We have a lunar eclipse in Virgo.
A Virgo full moon with a total lunar eclipse. Now, for you as an Aries, we need to look at the geometry here. Virgo is the sign that creates a specific angle of friction with Aries.
It's the adjustment aspect, right?
Yeah.
Aries is the big vision, the spark, the let's do it.
And Virgo is the digestion, the routine, the did you file the paperwork?
It's the editor meeting the author. And authors usually hate editors.
They do. So this eclipse is highlighting the Virgo sector of your chart, which governs health habits, daily routines, and systems.
So if Mercury retrograde is the fog, this eclipse is a spotlight cutting through that fog, and it's pointing specifically at the mess.
It's a spotlight on systemic failure. The eclipse is going to show you exactly where your schedule is chaotic, where stress is leaking out physically, or where you're just trying to do too much by brute force instead of having a good workflow.
The phrase that stood out to me was somatic release. Because Aries is a very head-first energy. You can live on adrenaline. But Virgo is the body. It's the gut.
That's a vital point. This eclipse might manifest physically. If you've been running on fumes, this is the moment the body pulls the emergency brake.
So this isn't just about tidying the calendar for productivity.
No, it's about biological maintenance. The source warns specifically about the nervous system being fried.
Which means the advice to reduce caffeine isn't just generic wellness fluff. It's a safety warning.
It is. If you're an Aries who drinks 4 coffees a day to push through fatigue, this eclipse is going to make you feel that jittery edge. The goal here isn't perfection. Virgo can get obsessed with perfection, but workability.
Making life workable. I like that. It's about removing the friction from the day-to-day so you aren't fighting yourself.
Exactly. Sleep at consistent times. Delete things from the calendar that are just vanity metrics or obligations you don't actually need to fulfill.
This connects to that metaphor in the notes, the clean fire. Can you expand on that?
The concept is that Aries is a fire sign. Fire needs oxygen to burn, but it also needs a clean flue. If your life is clogged with bad habits, unfinished tasks, a chaotic schedule that's soot in the chimney,
right?
When the energy picks up later in the month, if you light a fire in a dirty chimney, you get smoke and danger, not heat. You need to clean the system now so your fire can burn clean after the 20th.
That is such a strong visual. You are scrubbing the chimney while Mercury is retrograde?
So that you can light the bonfire at the equinox.
That's the strategy. Okay, let's pivot to the part of life that usually gets Aries the most excited and the most trouble.
Oh, yes.
Love and relationships.
Yeah.
Because Venus is entering the chat in a big way.
March 6th to March 30th, Venus enters Aries.
Now, in a vacuum, Venus in Aries is a great time. It's the archetype of the hunter. It's bold. It's I want what I want. It's high libido, high confidence.
It is love at first sight energy. Very direct.
But we aren't in a vacuum. We are in a Pisces Mercury retrograde.
We are not.
So you have this high-octane hunter energy trying to operate in a foggy swamp.
That is the complication. You have a clash of motivations.
Yeah.
Venus in Aries wants speed and instant gratification. Mercury in Pisces implies confusion, delay, and mixed signals.
It feels like a recipe for a rom-com misunderstanding that stops being funny after about, day 3.
For sure. It creates a lot of friction. For couples, this is actually a powerful time to clear the air. Remember the clean fire. Because Venus in Aries gives you the bravery to bring up difficult topics. But, and this is a massive warning, words are slippery right now.
The text message trap.
The text message trap is lethal this month. Do not assume you understand the tone of a text. And do not try to have a serious relationship conversation via iMessage.
Because the Aries urgency will make you want to fire off a response immediately.
Immediately.
But the Mercury fog ensures it will be misinterpreted.
Precisely. Under this astrology, a text that says, "We need to talk," could be read as an imminent breakup when really you just wanted to discuss the budget.
Oh, totally.
The advice is strictly face-to-face. You need vocal inflection and body language to cut through the retrograde fog.
And what about for singles? Because Venus in Aries usually means the hunt is on.
You are going to be magnetic. There is no doubt about that. You will be noticeable. But the source material warns about the flash in the pan dynamic. Connections can start very fast, but because of the retrograde, people might be inconsistent.
The dreaded ghosting?
High probability of ghosting or just flakiness. The person who was incredibly charming on Tuesday might just disappear into the Pisces void on Thursday.
So how do you protect your heart without being a total cynic?
You look at actions, not potential. Aries loves potential. You love the idea of who someone is. But this month, you have to look at the cold, hard reality of their behavior. If the words are poetic but the replies take 3 days, believe the delay, not the poetry.
That is a bumper sticker for March 2026. Believe the delay, not the poetry.
Yes.
Okay, let's talk career and money, because this Tale of Two Cities timeline is perhaps most critical here.
It is. The strategy for your career is starkly divided by that March 20th date,
Before the 20th, we are in what the notes call profitable maintenance.
which is a nice way of saying boring work that pays off later. Aries tends to hate maintenance mode. You want to launch, pitch, and start. But if you launch a new product or a major campaign during the Pisces retrograde, it's like launching a boat into a fog bank. No one sees it.
It's not that the idea is bad, it's that the signal is weak.
Exactly. So, use the first 3 weeks to sharpen the knife. Revise the resume. Rework the portfolio you haven't touched in 2 years. Renegotiate terms on existing contracts. Fix the bugs in your software.
So you're doing all the background work so that when the curtain rises on the 20th, you are polished.
Yes. March 20th onwards is the launch window. That's when you send the application. That's when you publish the post. That's when you ask for the raise. The communication channels clear up, and your natural Aries charisma finally lands the way it's supposed to.
There was also a note on finances that I found interesting, the concept of emotional spending or the dopamine tax.
This is a classic retrograde trap, and it's amplified by Venus in Aries. You're frustrated by the delays, you're feeling a bit foggy, so you look for a quick hit of dopamine.
And buying something feels like action.
It does. I can't fix my job right now, but I can buy this expensive jacket.
Soothing the mood with the credit card.
And Venus in Aries is impulsive. I see it, I want it, I bought it. The advice here is to implement a pause button. Just ask yourself, is this purchase building my future, or is it just a Band-Aid for my boredom?
The sources suggest keeping a capped fund budget, though, not total austerity.
Right, because total austerity will just lead to a rebellion later. Give yourself a sandbox. Say, I have $200 to blow on whatever I want. Once it's gone, it's gone. It satisfies that Venus and Aries urge without wrecking the long-term plan.
Okay, we have navigated the swamp, we've scrubbed the chimney, we haven't texted our exes, we finally arrive at the pivot point, March 19th and 20th.
This is the moment, and I want to emphasize how dramatic this shift is. Usually, astrological weather changes gradually. This is a cliff edge.
Let's start with the 19th, the Pisces new moon.
The new moon in Pisces is the final exhale of the zodiac year. It is the deepest water. It's a moment of total void. It is the perfect day for spiritual closure, for forgiveness, especially forgiving yourself for whatever you didn't get done, and just letting things fade out.
Sounds quiet.
It is profoundly quiet. It's the silence before the orchestra starts.
And then, 24 hours later, the conductor raises the baton and brings it down, March 20th.
The equinox. The sun enters Aries, and simultaneously Mercury stations direct.
The fog lifts, and the sun comes out at the exact same time.
It's basically a cosmic go signal. The drag coefficient just drops to 0. You will feel a surge of vitality, clarity, and momentum. It's the start of Aries season and the astrological new year.
So the synthesis of the whole month really hinges on respecting the 19th.
You have to release on the 19th to restart on the 20th. If you try to restart on the 19th, you're acting too soon. You're interrupting the download.
It connects back to that breathing metaphor we touched on.
Mm-hmm.
The first half of the month is the inhale. The second half is the exhale. You cannot exhale forcefully. You can't scream, you can't sing, you can't run if you haven't taken that deep breath first.
That's it. That is the physics of March 2026.
So let's bring this home for the Aries listener. We've covered a lot of ground, but the strategy is actually quite elegant.
It is. March 1st through the 20th. Revise, reorganize, audit, finish the unfinished business.
Do not rush the river.
Do not rush. March 20th onward. Commit, launch, initiate. The lights are green.
And throughout the month, let Venus make you brave, but let the retrograde make you cautious with your words.
That's the balance.
I want to leave you with a final thought going back to that clean fire
Yeah.
image, because we talked about how the first half of the month is about cleaning the chimney.
Right. It raises a really provocative question that I think every Aries needs to sit with right now. If you want that second half of the month to be explosive and successful, what specifically needs to be removed from your life right now?
Not what needs to be added.
Exactly. We're always making to-do lists, but with this eclipse and retrograde, you need a stop-doing list.
Yeah.
What clutter, what obligation, what drain on your energy is clogging the system? Because if you don't clear it now, when the speed picks up on the 20th, that blockage is going to cause a blowout.
That is the homework. Find the blockage, clear the path, and then when the equinox hits, run like hell.
You'll be ready.
Aries, it's going to be a fascinating month. Patience first, action second. Thanks for diving deep with us.
See you next time.